My people, my brothers and sisters in arms, sons and daughters of Africa, I stand before you today not just as your president, but as a witness to a miracle that has shaken the very foundations of our nation. A spiritual earthquake that has reverberated across the continent. When I first received the report, I could not believe my own eyes. I thought there must be some mistake. 3,000 of our finest soldiers, 3,000 brave warriors who stand ready to defend our sovereignty, 3,000 men who have sworn to protect our nation with their lives. In a single moment of divine grace, they have chosen to embrace Islam. This is not just news, this is history in the making. This is a spiritual revolution that speaks volumes about the changing soul of Africa. When our brave defenders, our guardians of liberty, voluntarily choose the path of Islam, we must stop and ask, what does this mean? What powerful force is moving the hearts of Africa's protectors? I tell you today, this is not some random occurrence. This is not coincidence. This is the awakening of the African spirit. This is the rediscovery of our true identity. This is the return to our roots. The very roots that colonial powers tried to tear from our soil, the very identity that foreign influences tried to erase from our memory. Our soldiers are not just military men, they are the conscience of our nation. They are the embodiment of our will. And when 3,000 of them make such a profound spiritual choice in unity, we must understand that something deep is stirring in the heart of Africa. My people, our soldiers have known the struggle for physical freedom. They have fought against imperialism. They have resisted neocolonialism. But now they seek a higher freedom, the freedom of the soul, the liberation of the spirit. Islam offers them what no political ideology could ever provide. It offers them direct connection to the Almighty without intermediaries. It offers them a brotherhood that transcends tribal lines and ethnic divisions. It offers them a moral compass in a world full of corruption and deception. These 3,000 warriors have discovered that true power doesn't come from weapons alone. True power comes from faith. True strength comes from submission to the divine will. They have traded the chains of spiritual emptiness for the freedom of Islamic conviction. I've spoken with these men. I've seen the light in their eyes. They are not converts, they are returnees. They're coming home to the natural faith of Africa. They are rediscovering the religion that has been part of our continent since the time of the Prophet himself. Brothers and sisters, what we are witnessing is nothing less than the reclamation of our stolen heritage. For centuries, they told us our indigenous beliefs were primitive. They told us our traditional values were outdated. They tried to make us ashamed of our own spiritual traditions. But Islam does not make us ashamed of being African. Islam makes us proud. It complements our African values. It strengthens our traditional virtues of hospitality, community, and respect for elders. It gives us the confidence to stand tall in a world that still looks down on Africa. These 3,000 soldiers have made a powerful statement. We can be African and Muslim. We can be modern and faithful. We can be progressive and spiritual. This is the synthesis that will propel Africa into its destined greatness. The colonial powers tried to divide us by religion. They tried to make Christianity and Islam foreign imports fighting over African souls. But these soldiers have shown us the truth. Islam is not foreign to Africa. Islam has been here for 14 centuries. Islam is as African as the baobab tree. My fellow Africans, our soldiers have seen the so-called modern values that the West tries to impose on us. They have witnessed the moral decay, the family breakdown, the spiritual emptiness, and they have said, enough. These brave men are rejecting the poison of LGBTQ ideology that destroys societies. They are rejecting the cult of individualism that breaks community bonds. They are rejecting the consumerism that turns human beings into slaves of material desires. Islam offers them a complete way of life, a comprehensive system that governs everything from personal conduct to economic transactions, a moral framework that protects the family, a social system that cares for the poor, a political vision that establishes justice. When our soldiers choose Islam, they are choosing dignity over degradation. They are choosing morality over perversion. They are choosing community over selfishness. They are making a statement that Africa will not follow the West down the path of self-destruction. Let me be absolutely clear. What we are witnessing today is nothing less than the dawn of a new Africa, a spiritual Africa, a powerful Africa, an Africa that stands on its own 2 feet, an Africa that draws strength from its own traditions, an Africa that fears nothing and nobody except Almighty God. These 3,000 soldiers are just the beginning. They are the vanguard of a spiritual revolution that will sweep across our continent. From Dakar to Djibouti, from Cairo to Cape Town, the African people are awakening. They are rediscovering their soul. They are reclaiming their destiny. I stand here today as your president, and I tell you with full conviction, I support these soldiers. I respect their choice. I celebrate their spiritual journey, because their journey is Africa's journey. Their awakening is Africa's awakening. To the international community, I say, take note, Africa is changing. The African people are choosing their own path. We will no longer be your laboratory for social experiments. We will no longer accept your moral corruption disguised as human rights. We have our own values. We have our own traditions. We have our own spiritual heritage. To the Western powers, I declare your era of cultural imperialism is over. Your attempt to destroy the African family has failed. Your campaign to corrupt our youth has been exposed. The African people are returning to God. The African soul is finding its way home. These 3,000 soldiers have shown us the way forward. They have demonstrated that true power comes from faith, that true unity comes from shared spiritual values, that true development begins with moral regeneration. We will build an Africa that is spiritually strong. We will build an Africa that is morally upright. We will build an Africa that is economically independent. We will build an Africa that is politically sovereign. And we will do it on our own terms, according to our own values, guided by our own spiritual traditions. Let this day be remembered in history. Let it be written that on this day, 3,000 African soldiers made a stand, not with weapons, not with violence, but with faith, with conviction, with spiritual courage. They have shown us that the most powerful weapon is not the gun, but the prayer. The most formidable army is not the one with the best equipment, but the one with the strongest faith. The most secure nation is not the one with the biggest military, but the one with the deepest spiritual foundation. My brothers and sisters, the choice is clear. The path is open. The future is here. Let us join these brave soldiers in rebuilding Africa. Let us work together to create a continent that shines with spiritual light, a continent that stands as a beacon of morality in a world drowning in sin, a continent that leads humanity back to God. This is our mission. This is our destiny. This is our sacred duty to future generations. Forward to spiritual awakening. Forward to African dignity. Forward to divine guidance. Allahu Akbar. God is great. Long live Africa. Long live Burkina Faso. Long live the African spirit. Thank you.